As a teenager with a knack for adventure, I always sought out the most thrilling experiences. So when my friends told me about the old abandoned house on Oakwood Lane, I couldn't resist the opportunity to explore it. It was said to be haunted, but I dismissed it as mere superstition. Little did I know what awaited me that fateful night. Under the cover of darkness, we gathered outside the creaking front door. As I stepped inside, a chill ran down my spine. The air was heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the faint sound of our footsteps. The dusty furniture and cracked walls created an eerie atmosphere. As we ventured deeper into the house, strange occurrences began. Doors slammed shut behind us, trapping us in narrow corridors. Our flashlights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Whispers echoed through the empty rooms, as if unseen entities were lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, a door swung open, revealing a dark staircase leading down into the basement. Against my better judgment, I followed my friends down the treacherous steps. The air grew colder with every step, and an unsettling presence enveloped us. In the basement, we found a small, dimly lit room. The walls were adorned with sinister symbols and disturbing drawings. I felt a growing sense of dread, but curiosity compelled me to investigate further. I stumbled upon a hidden compartment containing a weathered diary. With trembling hands, I opened the diary and read its pages. The entry spoke of a dark ritual performed in the very room we stood in. It was said that the spirits of the sacrificed souls haunted the house, seeking revenge on anyone who dared trespass. Fear gripped my heart, and I urged my friends to leave. But it was too late. The door slammed shut, sealing us inside. Panic consumed us as we frantically searched for an escape route, but the house seemed to conspire against us. The walls closed in, the rooms transformed into mazes, and our voices were drowned out by unholy laughter. One by one, my friends vanished, swallowed by the darkness. I was left alone, a terrified soul trapped in a nightmarish labyrinth. The spirits whispered in my ear, promising eternal suffering. Desperation filled me as I ran aimlessly, my sanity slipping away. As dawn broke, the house released its grip on me. I stumbled out into the sunlight, drenched in sweat and trembling uncontrollably. The haunted house had claimed its victims, and I was the lone survivor, forever haunted by the horrors of that night. The unseen visitor. In the stillness of the night, I found myself alone in my new apartment. The quietness unsettled me, but I dismissed it as the unfamiliarity of my surroundings. I nestled under the covers, hoping for a peaceful sleep. But little did I know that the night had other plans. As I lay in bed, a faint scratching sound caught my attention. I strained my ears, trying to locate its source. It seemed to come from the direction of the closet. My heartbeat quickened as I imagined the possibility of an intruder. Slowly, I crept toward the closet, preparing myself for the worst. With trembling hands, I opened the closet door. To my relief, there was no one inside. But as I closed the door, a cold gust of wind brushed against my face. The room turned icy, and the once familiar surroundings became foreign and menacing. That night, I tossed and turned, unable to shake off the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced on the walls, casting strange shapes that seemed to take on a life of their own. Sweat soaked my brow as I desperately clutched the sheets, seeking comfort and reassurance. Suddenly, a figure materialized at the foot of my bed. It was a pale, gaunt figure, its eyes sunken and empty. Fear consumed me as it reached out a skeletal hand toward me. I screamed, but no sound escaped my lips. The figure vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving me gasping for air. As the nights went on, the presence in my apartment grew more malevolent. Objects moved on their own, strange whispers echoed through the walls, and an invisible force gripped me, suffocating my very soul. I was trapped in a waking nightmare. Unable to bear the torment any longer, I sought the help of a paranormal investigator. Together, we delved into the history of the apartment. It turned out that a previous tenant had died under mysterious circumstances, and their spirit remained trapped, seeking solace or revenge. With the investigator's guidance, we performed a cleansing ritual, hoping to release the tormented soul. As the ritual concluded, a sense of peace washed over me, and the apartment became still once more. The unseen visitor had finally found rest, and I was free from its haunting presence. In the heart of the ancient forest, a group of friends embarked on a daring nighttime adventure. Armed with flashlights, we navigated the dense foliage, our excitement overpowering the eerie ambiance. But as the moon cast its pale light through the canopy, our joy turned into a nightmare. The forest seemed to come alive, whispering secrets we couldn't comprehend. Twisted branches reached out like gnarled fingers, snagging at our clothes. Shadows danced between the trees, their movements defying reason. A deep unease settled in our hearts, but we pressed on, ignorant of the danger lurking within. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath us, and a chilling breeze rustled the leaves. We found ourselves in a clearing surrounded by ancient stones adorned with faded symbols. The air grew heavy with an otherworldly presence, and a sense of foreboding washed over us. As we stood frozen, a dark figure materialized at the center of the clearing. Its eyes gleamed with an unnatural intensity, and its twisted grin sent shivers down our spines. We tried to flee, but an invisible force rooted us to the spot, like insects caught in a spider's web. The figure spoke in a voice that seemed to reverberate through our very souls. It spoke of an ancient curse, a malevolent spirit that fed on the fear of those who dared enter the forest at night. Our intrusion had awakened it, and it hungered for our terror. One by one, my friends succumbed to the darkness. They disappeared into the depths of the forest, their screams echoing through the night. I was left alone, paralyzed with fear and consumed by guilt. The forest closed in around me, the trees whispering their haunting secrets. In a last desperate attempt to escape, I closed my eyes and mustered all my courage. With a surge of adrenaline, I broke free from the invisible bonds and ran blindly through the underbrush. The forest fought against me, clawing at my skin and filling my lungs with its suffocating breath. As dawn broke, I stumbled out of the forest, battered and broken. The haunting memory of that night would forever haunt me, a reminder of the darkness that lurks in the depths of nature's embrace. The forest of shadows had claimed my friends, and I was left scarred, forever tormented